Take a look at this world map, which depicts over 200 nations, both small and large. We wonder who would have created this map and how. Similarly, when we look at the map of India, we have many questions about how it was created. Who would have drawn India's first map? It has a long history, and we will learn about it in this video. You will also learn about the great people who created the map of India by which India is now recognized. Also, when and how was it completed? Apart from that, you will learn about the journey of the map of India in this video, so stick with me until the end. And make sure you like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. First and foremost, let us understand the term map. It is also called Manchitra in Hindi. So, what is the meaning of the map? A map has two components, the measure and the picture. The measure, or man, refers to a measurement or value that is represented visually. A chitra of any country represents a large area of that country in a compact form. That is, if such maps did not exist, we would have had no idea what India looked like. However, thanks to some extraordinary people who made it possible. Many people throughout history have claimed to be the first to create a map of India, but only a few people in Indian history assisted in the preparation of several maps of India during distinct eras. We will start in ancient times to learn about how the first map of India was created. Many great people from all over the world have visited India and attempted to create a good map of the country. The first of which was Imago Mundi's map. The man in this image is Imago Mundi. The Imago Mundi's map was the oldest map of the world ever created, and we have proof of it. In history, Imago Mundi is also known as Babylonian, as he was a great philosopher of the Babylonian civilization. Look at this map, it appears to be made of stone. Today, we might ask, what kind of world map is this, and where is India on it? However, Imago Mundi created this map around 2,600 years ago, in 600 BC. There has never been a more ancient global map than this one. The triangle represents the world's 7 continents as well as the largest cities at the time. Hence, the Imago Mundi map is known as the oldest globe map in human history, and it is now housed in the British Museum in London. This stone map was discovered a few centuries ago in the desert of Iraq. Second on our list is Anaximander's map. This is Anaximander, a great Greek philosopher. Take a look at this map, you might find it difficult to understand. Here's a more detailed version of the map created by Anaximander. We will not get much out of it, but it was highly praised at the time it was created. Anaximander created this map around 2,550 years ago, in 546 BC. Because continents such as America, Australia, and others had not yet been discovered, this map only shows Europe, Asia, and Libya, i.e., Africa, and both land and sea were depicted separately. Hecataeus is the third name on our list. This is Hecataeus, a geographer from modern-day Turkey. He exclusively worked on Anaximander's map. It was Anaximander's map, and this is Hecataeus' map, which Hecataeus made 2,500 years ago. Hecataeus had depicted the civilizations of the world at the time in this manner. It depicted Egyptian culture, Babylonian civilization, Persian civilization, and India. Hecataeus, also known as the father of geography, was the first to mention India on a world map. The fourth map on our list is of Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes was born in modern-day Libya, but he was born 2,300 years ago. He was a gifted mathematician, and Eratosthenes was scientifically sound even 2,300 years ago. Take a look at this map, which is also a globe map. Eratosthenes created it in 300 BC, and the modern India depicted in it is very different. Here we are looking at the Ganges River in India, and it also portrays the Indus Valley civilization, which was located in modern-day Pakistan. So, what motivated Eratosthenes to create this map? It was because 2,300 years ago, the Greek Emperor Alexander the Great decided that he needed to view the map of the whole world so that he could devise a strategy to conquer it. That is why Alexander assigned the Greek mathematician Eratosthenes the task of creating a map of the world and India, which he did. The fifth on our list is Ptolemy's map. Ptolemy was a mathematician, astronomer, and geographer who was born in what is now Egypt in the year 100, or roughly 1900 years ago. Take a look at this map. Ptolemy is the person who is credited with producing the first accurate map of the world. Around 1900 years ago, Ptolemy visited India, and upon his return, he wrote a geography book. In that book, he depicted a better version of the Indian map. As you can see in the image, Ptolemy created a map of India in his book. Here is the Himalayan range, and here is lower South India. India appeared roughly like this on ancient world maps. Let us now take a look at how India was depicted on maps in the Middle Ages. First on our list is Hawqal. He drew a map around the 10th century. Now, if you say that Ptolemy made a good map 1900 years ago, didn't Hawqal refer to Ptolemy's map? And how did he end up making such a weird map of the world? Therefore, only a select group of people, including Ptolemy himself, his king, and his ministers, must have seen Ptolemy's map. It was also challenging to cite a source unless someone was certain that a correct map had been drawn somewhere in the world because it was impossible to copy or publish at the time. All of this is now known to us thanks to the internet. Hence, Hawqal's map depicts Tibet, China, India over here, and the entirety of Asia. Russia is on this side, and Europe is on the other. And here we are looking at the Nile River, so that makes this Africa. The second is Muhammad al-Idrisi. In this image, Muhammad al-Idrisi created a proper map of the world in his book in 1154. Here is the map he created, which was highly popular. This is Italy, and here is the island of Sicily. This is the African continent. This is Britain, the European continent, Russia, and India, which have a proper boundary for the first time on this map. You might be astonished to learn that Columbus and Vasco da Gama used this map to navigate their way to places like India and America. In the history books, Muhammad al-Idrisi's map is known as Tabula Rogeriana. Nicolay de Caveri is third on our list. Take a look at this map, which is known as the Cave Rio map. The world's first map, which Nicolay de Caveri drew in 1505, depicts South America, North America, and Canada. Just a few years prior to the creation of this map, America was discovered. If you know who discovered America, then do mention it in the comments section. You can see that India has also been shown well, and this is the entire continent of Africa. Fourth on our list is Abraham Ortelius' map. Abraham Ortelius was born in Belgium in 1527 and is regarded as the world's first cartographer, creating the modern atlas. This is a map he created. You can see from the physical form here that India has a prominent appearance, and the African continent is clearly visible too. But South America and North America had not yet been properly explored or depicted. The extent of how large the mainland of America is was unknown until the 15th century. Fifth is Hendrik Hondius' map. In this image, Hendrik Hondius, a cartographer who worked in 1630, is depicted. Here is a map that shows Australia for the first time. Australia was found in 1623, and this map was created in 1630. This is Australia, which seems smaller and entirely different. It does not seem like Australia. Since it had only recently been found, no one was aware of its full extent or proper form. In this way, we were able to see and learn about how the map of India appeared in prehistoric and medieval times. Now, we will talk about the modern era that we are living in. It was during modern times that India's true form started to appear on the map. When European traders started traveling the world to expand their businesses or empires, the British East India Company arrived in India and observed many things, including the wealth of the Indian kings and the unique crops that grew there. The British had a strong desire to own it. But for this, the British needed a map of India. For the purpose of planning trade and establishing their empire in India, the British started creating precise maps of the country. First on our list from the modern era is James Rennell. He attempted to create the first map of India. The East India Company appointed James Rennell as the surveyor of India. Few people realized that James Rennell was the first to survey India and attempt to map it. In 1764, he explored and mapped the area surrounding the Ganges and the Himalayas. Among all the maps he created, his work on the Bengal Atlas in 1779 was the most impactful. Then, in 1783, he created a precise map of India. However, it had several errors, such as not showing the right position of the major cities and miscalculating the width of the subcontinent by 40 miles. In spite of this, it was thought to be a fantastic piece of work given the time and resources available. William Lambton comes in second on our list. It was only a matter of time before the British took over India in the 18th century. The task of making an Indian map was also given to him. In the Battle of Plassey, the British prevailed over Siraj-ud-Dowlah, the ruler of Bengal. Additionally, the British wanted to tax the inhabitants of Bengal after they had conquered it. The British decided to create a new map of India because they did not have an accurate map at the time and did not have a sufficient understanding of the Bengali border region. Jack William Lambton was given this responsibility. Lambton had a fantastic opportunity. He was a well-read man, with a remarkable scientific curiosity, and he studied mathematics, geography, and astronomy in great detail. On the orders of the East India Company, William Lambton surveyed the Indian subcontinent in 1802. On April 10, 1802, the survey commenced. The British were supposed to finish the survey of India in the following 5 years, but it took them about 70 years to do so. William Lambton started creating maps from the southernmost province of India, Madras. He did this using a technique known as the simple triangle method. As seen in the image, Lambton started working on the map using this tool, but despite putting in consistent work for 18 years, Lambton was unable to finish even 1/3 of the map of India. After that, he took his retirement, and George Everest took his place. In this image, we are looking at George Everest, the Surveyor General of India since 1830. Although he put together a sizable crew, the project was moving slowly. This is because the crew had to cross flooded rivers and woodlands, many of whom used to get ill as well. Additionally, they frequently had to run from dangerous animals and confront robbers, which led to the deaths of many members of Everest's squad. But the mapping process went on. The majority of the crew members were from India, and their responsibilities included carrying tools and equipment, cutting wood, sending signals, measuring land with chains, having blacksmiths and cobblers fix equipment, and guiding people through jungles or tribal areas. Practically, Indians who knew English and could write records in diaries were picked to be a part of the crew. Mohsin Hussain and Radhanath Sikdar, 2 Indians on this team, won Everest's trust. Because they were both productive and promising, Everest had measured nearly the entire territory of India with their help by the year 1841. The entire country of India had been measured from Kanyakumari to the Himalayas, but the Himalayan range was quite big, stretching from Kashmir to Burma, where Everest had measured only a few mountains. Out of all mountains, the tallest mountain of the Himalayas, Mount Everest, was mapped 99% correctly. Everest then retired in 1843, and Andrew Scott Waugh took his position. Next is Andrew Scott. He started mapping the Himalayan mountains in 1843. Each mountain was measured and given a Roman number, such as Mountain 1, Mountain 2, and so on for all the peaks. And in 1856, Andrew Scott declared that one peak was the world's highest mountain. In memory of George Everest, his former surveyor, it was given the name Mount Everest. Many glaciers were discovered during the discovery of the Karakoram Range. The discovery of the Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers was the most significant at the time. By the way, a lot of historians think Radhanath Sikdar, not George Everest, was the one who actually measured the height of Everest. But since George Everest served as Surveyor General, he kept the record without mentioning Radhanath Sikdar. In those days, Indians were allowed to travel to Tibet, but Europeans were not allowed. Tibet was a mysterious place. That is why the British government sent two Indian brothers, Pandit Nain Singh and Pandit Kishen Singh, to Tibet as begging impostors to learn more about Tibet. This image shows two brothers who were skilled secret surveyors and participated in numerous expeditions between 1865 and 1892. Both of them traveled from Kathmandu in Nepal to Lhasa, which was the main city of Tibet at the time. And from Lhasa to Lake Mansar, and then finally, on their return journey, they covered a total distance of 1,200 miles. Moreover, these two brothers discovered the southern trade route to Tibet and the Tsongpa waterway. They shared quality information not only about the unknown land of Tibet but also about the lives and customs of the people living there. They further traveled to Tibet and Mongolia during the years 1878 to 1882, where they spent the years. And the areas they discovered helped to solve the geographical problems related to the Iravathi and Brahmaputra rivers. They also discovered that the origin of the Tsongpa River is Lake Mansarovar, and it ends at Jayala. The total length of this river is 850 miles. Kishen Singh received the honorific title of Rai Bahadur as a result of his numerous discoveries. After that, the new youth received instruction from these two brothers on how to conduct a survey. Additionally, many other Indians who participated in this training, including Kalyan Singh, Rinjan Namgyal, Eugen Jintao, Mirza Shuja, Atta Muhammad, and Abdul Subhan, discovered new areas and returned with a wealth of useful information. These individuals' discoveries made a significant contribution to the growth and accomplishments of India's mapping and surveying. Now look at this last map. This lovely map of India was not made just like that. Many thousands of Indian people and some British officers worked hard for 70 years to make this first map of India. Then Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Burma were all called the subcontinent of India. So this was the history of making the first map of India. If you got to know and learn something, then like and share this video. We will see you very soon with another historical video. Thank you.